Now it's time for the best segment of the podcast, boys. It is Fantasy Boom or Doom. Now give me your two booms and your two dooms in fantasy this week, starting with you, Joel.
My first boom is Ramondre Stevenson. I think the Patriots are going to be in a bloodbath this week against the Jets, a little divisional game. Quietly, consistently very good the past 2 years, and I love him in this matchup. Next, Mark Andrews. Give him a boom. The Cowboys' defense was horrendous this week. Mark Andrews had a much better week this week than week one. I believe he averaged like 12 and a half yards per attempt, or not attempt, but per catch. Had a decent amount of fan points. So I'm back in on Mark Andrews. We're going to give him a boom. Now
Boom.
to the dooms. Dun, dun, dun. Travis Kelce. He's fucking old, okay? I think he's starting to take the Gronk career path where he's going to be a really good tight end still, but you're not going to be able to rely on him in fantasy until the playoffs, at which point the fantasy season's done anyway. I don't trust Kelce to get it done this year. I'm really happy I wasn't given the opportunity to pick him in the first or second round or third. Either way. Doom, Travis Kelce. Even though the Chiefs are going to win the playoffs and he's going to be good in the playoffs. My second doom, Najee Harris. This guy stinks. This guy is so fucking bad. He got 7 points in week 1, 8 points in week 2, or flip those around. I don't know. But it's not like they were playing particularly good defenses either, you know? There's nothing special about the Denver Broncos defense. Oh, it's gross to watch him. So Najee Harris, doom.
I love the dooms. I love both dooms here. Kelce hasn't done anything. I do like the Gronk shout out, where wait till the playoffs before he really starts to take over, or in big games. But a pretty big game against the Bengals, and he did nothing. Love that. Najee, love it as well. Chargers become a really physical team, so I do think they're going to focus on stopping the run because Justin Fields can't throw. So, yeah, I love that. Ramondre, I feel like he makes our boom or doom or whatever, no matter what. I don't like him this week.
Boom, buddy. He's a boom.
I think he's a doom because they're against the Jets. Jets are stout. They know that the Patriots are going to have to run the ball, and Gibson played really well against the Seahawks, even in limited carries. I think one of us should have taken Gibson for a boom, but likely none of us did. Who was your other boom?
Mark Andrews.
Love it. Love the shout out. Boom. Love it against Dallas. Yeah, time for him to take off. They need him. My booms and dooms.
Boom.
Boom number 1, Mike Gesicki. Boomed off last week. I had to replace Evan Ingram in fantasy with Mike Gesicki. Got me 12 points in half PPR. 90-plus yards. He's, I think, establishing himself as the number 1 tight end in Cincinnati. If T. Higgins not playing, they're going to need him more. And they're against Washington. So, terrible defense. Give me the Bengals. Sticking with the Bengals, Jamar Chase. Been quiet so far. Threw a tantrum last week. Time to make this guy happy, Joe. Time for a bomb of a TD. Lock it in against Washington. He's getting in the end zone. I think they're going to absolutely smoke Washington. Now, Monday night doubleheader. Taking both Bengals players for big booms here. Okay. Doom. Same game. Terry McLaurin. Haven't seen anything from James Daniels yet. Doesn't realize you can just throw it in this man's vicinity and he'll catch it. Not been super quiet in fantasy. I feel bad for him, man. He's had nothing but quarterbacks that can't get him the ball. And he still gets over 1,000 yards. This year, he might not get it. Off to a really bad start. So, Doom and Terry McLaurin against the Bengals. Next Doom, another wide receiver, Michael Pittman. Done nothing the past 2 weeks. Someone had him in a boom last week. I was rooting for it, but was skeptical. And he did absolutely nothing. Again, Anthony Richardson relies on the deep ball. That's not really what Pittman does. He's more of a possession guy, more of that short yardage to intermediate sort of area. He's not really going to blow you over the top unless it's a 1v1. Sure. Write that down. Pittman's not going to blow you over the top. Write that down. So he's my last doom.
I don't like Terry McLaurin as a doom. I think their chemistry, him and McDaniel's chemistry is just going to build over the weeks here. And he's bound to go off. I think this is his week. He finally connects. And you gotta think the coaches are game planning some some big routes for this next matchup here that he can get open and get some crazy yards.
I agree. I feel like McLaurin is such a good player that at any moment he could just go up and grab a ball. Who was your first boom?
Mike Gesicki.
Yeah, I like both your booms. It's just weird to me that they'd be on the same team. Like, how booming can one offense be? You know?
You'll see, buddy.
Also, you saying he boomed all over the place sounded weird as well. So
He boomed all over.
You live and die by the boom, I guess.
His boom was all over the TV screen.
this is a boom addict over here.
I like the booms, though. Gesicki is, he's turned into that number one. I think it's fair to keep betting him and expecting the best. All right, now for my booms and dooms. I'm starting off with Tony Pollard as my first boom. The Packers. They're rated 21st in rush defense through the first 2 weeks. Haven't looked good at all. And Spears is injured. He might not play in this game. And it looks like Pollard's really taken over that backfield. Even if Spears plays, he's got at least 70 to 80% of those snaps. And he's been rushing the ball fairly effectively. Had 80 yards in week 1, like 60 in week 2. So I think he's going to explode against these Packers. He's going to boom over them. Next, Zamir White. He is going to have his first breakout game on the Raiders. They're playing the Panthers. Okay, I think the best way to find a good boom is to pick someone who's playing against the Panthers. It has to happen. And he's getting at least 70% of the snaps through the first 2 weeks. He is that clear RB1 there, even though Madison takes over some red zone carries. I think Zamir is going to have a good breakout game here and go off. Keep him in your fantasy lineup. I'm telling you. Boom. Now, for my dooms, Jalen Waddle. I am dooming him here. Skylar Thompson is his quarterback. That's all I need to say. Doom on Waddle. Chris Godwin. The Broncos defense, as much as I've been saying the Buccaneers are going to win this game, I think Mike Evans is going to be the one who breaks off for all the yards, and Chris Godwin is going to play like shit. He's going to get covered. He won't have nearly as good of a game, and that is my second doom.
I hate the Godwin pick.
I hate the Godwin one too.
With all my heart. If Mike Evans covered,
it's all going to Edwin.
Good option.
Yeah, Godwin is so good. He really is a number one receiver. He's just behind Mike Evans.
That's what I'm saying. I think Evans is going to get all of the targets. I think Godwin is going to be covered this game, and it's going to be an Evans type of game script.
I think Pat Surtain's going to be following Mike Evans everywhere. And
Surtain doesn't worry me. He definitely doesn't worry Evans.
Okay.
He's not scared. He's not scared at all.
Apparently.
Who are your booms again?
Tony Pollard and Zamir White.
I love the Pollard one.
I like Pollard. I don't love Zamir White. I don't hate it though.
Here's my only hang up. I don't hate. I like the Pollard one without Tajay Spears. Yeah, they're against the Panthers, but they keep giving it to Madison in the red zone. So
yeah,
it's weird with that. I don't like Zamir White for that reason alone.
Yeah, but if you look at the snap count, it is mostly Zamir White throughout the game. And they've played against two really tough defenses, Chargers, and then the Ravens. So, I mean, they've kind of been slammed there. So I think they are finally against a shit defense. I think Zamir White's going to pound that.
He should be able to. Like, what is a Doom exactly? Is that sub 10 points?
Doom is shit. Yeah, you're not doing much. Like, sub 8.
Sub 8. Okay, so you're booming if you get 8.
There's a middle threshold. A boom is probably above a 15, I would say.
What's the middle threshold? Gloom?
Nothing. Yeah. Well,
loom. You're sort of looming.
There's not a word invented for that yet.
Zamir White's one's not that bad. The Waddle Doom, love it. Yeah,
that's a good one.
I think there can still be a space for Tyreek Hill, but probably not Waddle. So, yeah, that one seems like a silver platter sort of Doom right there. Fantasy owners, not liking that.